गोंयाक सांबाळून गोंयकारांक परत दिवपा खातीर काँग्रेस पार्टी वावुरतली अशें प्रियांकान म्हळां.
In the Congress Party, we understand how important your heritage is to you, both natural and your cultures and your traditions. And it is from that understanding that many, many years ago, my grandmother conducted possibly the only referendum that was ever conducted in India, in Goa, to find out from the people of Goa whether they wanted to be part of the Maharashtra state or they wanted a state to themselves. And with that same respect, and with that same clear respect for your dignity, for your culture, for your traditions, the Congress Party today wants to hand Goa back to Goans. It wants to create policies that are for your benefit, not for the benefit of outsiders. Whether it is the policies on buying of land, whether it is the tourism policy, whether it is the environment, whether it is the fact that industrialists are being allowed to carry coal from one side of Goa to the other, and special provisions are being made for them while the people of Goa are being ignored. All of this, we promise that we are going to focus on fully, and we are going to give you a stable government that works for Goans.
गोंयकार भाजपाक विटला अशें आपणाक गोंयकारांकडे चर्चा केल्या उपरांत कळटा. भाजपा खातीर गोंय भांगराचे तांती दिवपी कोमी जाला, ते गोंयांक लुटतात अशें प्रियांका म्हणटा.
If you listen to the speeches of BJP leaders, they tend to say that they want to build a golden Goa. And every time I hear that, I think of that story, of the goose that laid the golden eggs. Of the farmer and his wife who had found the goose which was laying golden eggs, and they were enriching themselves by selling these golden eggs. And then one day they sat down, they became so greedy that they had a discussion with each other and said, look, this goose must be having so many golden eggs inside, why don't we just cut her up and take them out? And to me, that is what is being done to your state. They are seeing resources, there is greed, they are seeing huge amount of resources, and they're wanting to take those resources to enrich themselves, rather than actually enriching the state, understanding your culture. There is a disrespect for your individuality, for your culture, for your identity. And when you have a government that actually internally cannot accept your differences, cannot accept your culture the way it is, does not want it to flourish, wants a uniform culture, then the result is that your state suffers, that you suffer. Everywhere in Goa, wherever I have been, I was here earlier for campaigning. I spoke to people from all different sections of society. I spoke to women, I spoke to young people, I spoke to fishermen. Everybody was under stress and pressure.
गोंयच्या सैमीक स्रोतांक लुटून भाजपाचे सरकार आपलो सुवार्थ साधता असो आरोप प्रियांकान केला. भाजपाच्या सरकाराच्या काळात तरणाटे बेरोजगार उरल्यात अशें प्रियांकान म्हटलां.
This election for Goa is really, really significant. And it's significant not just from the point of view of us political parties, but particularly from the point of view of Goa. What we have here is a state rich in resources, rich in natural beauty, rich in skill, with a good youthful population, and yet the second highest in unemployment in India. And yet the focus of the government, instead of being on development, instead of being on how to move forward, how to protect the natural beauty of Goa, how to protect your resources, or at least to utilize them for your own good, there is no such focus. The focus is only on staying in power, and by whatever means one can stay in power. You saw the biggest example of that was what happened after the result of the last election. It was very clearly evident that power was being usurped, and democracy was being upturned. You then got a government that focused on creating wealth for its own industrialist friends. You have a huge example of that here in Goa itself. You have the double laning of the highway. you have these three projects, the highway expansion, the double tracking, and the electricity lines that are going through your natural habitat, carrying coal from one end to the other, only for the benefit of one single industrialist. Not a single youth from Goa is getting a single job out of this exercise. What are you getting? You're getting pollution, your environment is being destroyed. So this is symbolic of actually what is happening to Goa.